Battlefield 2 Special Forces is the expansion pack to this year's hit online action game Battlefield 2. As with any expansion, you'd expect a lot of new content, and Special Forces delivers. There are 6 new factions to play as, including the Navy SEALs, the British SAS, and Russian and Middle Eastern Coalition Special Forces. And there are 8 new levels that feature a lot of great new content. There's a spaceport in the Russian countryside, a submarine base that you have to defend as the Navy SEALs. There's even an aircraft carrier level where you have to defend or try to take over an aircraft carrier deck by deck, including the hangar bay. Some of the most popular levels in Battlefield 2 were the urban combat ones, and the designers of Special Forces have taken that to note. Many of the levels in Special Forces are geared heavily toward infantry combat. It helps that infantry also have a lot of new toys to play with. There's a grappling hook that lets you climb up buildings and other high places. There's also a zip line that you can shoot using a crossbow and then grab. It lets you slide down from the roof of the building down to the ground really quickly. There are also plenty of other new tools and toys. Night vision goggles let you see in the dark, but like with real night vision, if you turn the corner and there's a bright light there, they amplifies the bright light so you can't see anything. You also have tear gas and flashbang grenades, and if you're familiar with other shooters, you know what those do. Flashbang creates a bright light, so if you're looking into it, you'll be temporarily blinded and it'll let somebody kill you easily. And tear gas makes you kind of cough and distorts your vision. It's like you're in a drug-induced daze. If you really like Battlefield 2, you'll love Special Forces because the urban combat in Battlefield 2 was great and they really pick it up a notch in Special Forces. Obviously, vehicles are a big part of the Battlefield formula, and they're there. There are some new vehicles, including an ATV and a jet ski, and some pickup trucks with machine guns mounted in them. But a lot of the focus is on urban combat, and it's great. There's a lot of intensity there. You're doing a lot of indoor and outdoor fighting. It's pretty cool. On the flip side, Battlefield 2 Special Forces ships with a few glaring show-stopping bugs. There are problems installing it, depending if you use EA's new digital distribution service. It doesn't affect everyone, but if it does affect you, it's pretty crippling. There are also other issues. You have to install a patch onto Battlefield 2 before you install Special Forces, and after you install Special Forces, you have to download and install yet another patch. So it feels like it was kind of shipped out a bit early for the holidays. If you can get it up and running though, it's great. If you can't, you're gonna have to wait for EA to fix some of the problems. Special Forces will obviously appeal to fans of Battlefield 2. The big question is whether it appeals to those who kind of play Battlefield 2 on and off, and it does. There's a lot of really good content in here, and it kind of broadens the game quite a bit. Obviously, one of the frustrations some people had with Battlefield 2 was how some of the vehicles could be overpowering. You don't have to worry about that so much in Battlefield Special Forces. Some of the new levels are really cool to experience too, and they're well designed. They're unlike anything you saw in the previous game. With that said, there are some levels that are a bit familiar too. If you saw the urban levels in Battlefield 2, you'll see some of these levels in Battlefield Special Forces that will remind you of them. But there's a lot of new stuff. In terms of value, there's 6. The 6 new factions are cool. I think one of the complaints is that you only get to see them on a couple maps each because there's only 8 new levels. Still, there's a good mix of new stuff in here that you can experience, and if you played Battlefield 2 and you like Battlefield 2, you obviously need to get this, especially if you want to keep up with the online servers. Obviously, if you play Battlefield 2, the great thing about the game is that it's just an insane mix of over-the-top moments. Special Forces is just like that, and so if you like Battlefield 2, you'll obviously love Special Forces. Just give EA a month or so to work out all the kinks.